All right, I need to talk to you about one of the most expensive lies that we tell ourselves in business, and it's this: shared ownership. Now, I know that sounds collaborative and enlightened and all that, but here's the brutal truth. Shared ownership is just a polite way of saying no ownership. And when your most critical initiatives have no real owner, they die. I mean, not dramatically, maybe not obviously, but slowly and painfully. And you've probably experienced this. Everyone's working hard, meetings are happening, updates are being shared, but somehow nothing meaningful actually gets delivered. Well, welcome to accountability theater. So let me paint you a picture. You've got a critical strategic initiative. Maybe it's a new product launch, maybe it's a major system upgrade. Leadership has anointed it, resources have been allocated, smart people are engaged on it, but then reality hits. Decisions get stuck because we need to align all stakeholders. And progress stalls because different teams have different ideas about what success looks like. When deadlines slip, and they will slip, everyone has a perfectly reasonable explanation for why it's not their fault. Marketing was waiting for product specs, product was waiting for technical feasibility, tech was waiting for clear requirements. Round and around we go like some sort of corporate carousel that never actually gets anywhere. This is essentially decision limbo, and it's where good initiatives go to die. Now you might think, well, at least we're being collaborative, but collaboration without accountability is just an expensive form of procrastination. Because here's what's really happening. Your competitors are passing you by while you're stuck in consensus meetings. While you're aligning stakeholders, they're shipping products. That's the fact. The cost isn't just the delayed initiative, it's the opportunity cost of everything else you could have accomplished if you just had someone who could make the call. So what's the fix? Well, it's surprisingly simple, but it does require some courage. You need to assign full accountability for outcomes, not just activity, to actual people. Not committees, not teams, people. One person who wakes up every morning thinking about how to move this thing forward. One person who has the authority to make trade-offs and rally support. One person who owns the result, not just the process. So let me walk you through how to do this. We'll expand our list here and go through it. Step one, identify your strategic initiatives, the ones that are unclear or have fuzzy ownership. And be honest here. List your 3 to 5 most critical initiatives and ask this simple question for each one of them. Who is accountable for the end result? Not who's coordinating it and not who's involved in it, but who will be held responsible if it fails. If you can't immediately name a specific person, or if you just find yourself saying things like, well, it's the product team or it's the steering committee, well, congratulations. You've found your problem. Teams don't own outcomes. People do. This exercise usually reveals how many important initiatives are essentially orphaned, floating around in organizational space with no real parent. All right, step 2. Assign single-threaded owners. I mean proper owners, not coordinators or facilitators. For each initiative with unclear ownership, designate one person who owns delivery end-to-end. This person becomes your single point of accountability. They celebrate when it succeeds, and they're on the hook when it doesn't. Now, this doesn't mean they do all the work, of course. It means they're responsible for ensuring all the work gets done. They coordinate, they escalate, they make trade-offs, and they rally support. But crucially, and this is where most organizations mess it up, they must have the authority to make decisions that keep the initiative moving forward. Don't assign ownership to someone who can't actually affect the outcome. That's just setting them up to fail. All right, step 3. Clarify roles around the owner using something like a RACI chart, where you identify the parties who are responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. So the owner is accountable for the outcome. Various team members are responsible for specific deliverables. Subject matter experts are consulted when their input is needed, and stakeholders are informed of progress. But here's the key. Only one person holds the overall outcome. No co-leads. No shared accountability. That's just confusion in a fancy suit. This eliminates those wonderful, I thought you were handling that conversations that tend to plague cross-functional work. All right, step 4. Define what success looks like and how you're going to track progress. Not vague nonsense like improve the customer experience, but concrete measurable outcomes, like reduce support tickets by 25% while maintaining satisfaction scores above 4.2. And establish regular check-ins. These might be weekly, monthly, whatever fits your timeline. But here's the crucial bit. These reviews are to support the owner, not to override them. The moment you start making decisions that belong to the owner, you've undermined the entire system and you're back to committee land. Now, step 5, model and reinforce accountability culture. And this is where many organizations fall down. Celebrate leaders who drive outcomes, not just effort. Okay, make it visible when someone takes ownership and delivers results. And when initiatives start drifting back to shared ownership, because they'll tend to do that, call it out immediately and reassign clear ownership. Resist the urge to make things more collaborative when they get difficult. Collaboration is great, but it must be anchored by clear accountability. Look, your most important strategic initiatives are too critical to leave to chance. They need owners, not just coordinators, and leaders, not just committees. So stop pretending that shared ownership works. Assign real accountability to real people who can actually deliver real results. That's how you turn strategy into delivery, one clear owner at a time.